We spent a little time on it yesterday. It's still obviously very, very fresh in everybody's minds, and you saw a lot of it in the papers again today. And I contacted Steve Schirripa to come on, and he hasn't done anything yet, so I appreciate him. He was in the city doing some voiceover work for the All-Star game, so he was nice enough to come over. Steve, welcome. How are you? I'd like to see you on The Better Son. You were just here, obviously, promoting your book, which is doing great, but this had to come, I'm sure, to the Sopranos family as a terrible shock.
I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. I don't even know how I feel, Mike. It's I was at the Yankee game Wednesday night, and I was with Mitchell, Modell,
right,
and a bunch of the guys, and listening to Lasorda tell his bull crap stories,
Mm-hmm.
He commands an audience, oh, please, But so we have the same business manager, Roger Haber. He handles most of us from the show, and he called me, and my legs came out from under me. I mean, I was completely stunned because Jim's the kind of guy he's invincible, He's like that kind of guy, you know what I mean? Nothing could happen to this guy, And then I called him back. I said, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Yeah." And I told Mitchell, I said, "I have to go home, There's just no way." And I called Michael Imperioli, and then before you know it, all the guys kind of knew, and everybody was shocked. I mean, Tony Sirico's broken up. I mean, everyone. I mean, he was a really good guy. This guy. A really good guy. As good an actor as he was a better guy. A generous guy.
Says a lot.
A generous guy. I mean, the guy gave us $33,000 each. 16 people. There's a lot of people made a lot more money than him. Season 4, he called every one of the regular cast members. Gave us a check. He said, "Thanks for sticking by me." It's like buying 16 people a car. I'm trying. I've been numb the last few days. I mean, he was like a brother to me.
You guys remained very close. It wasn't just a business relationship. You guys became very friendly.
All of us. The main cast.
Right.
Stevie Van Zandt, Michael Perry, Tony Sirico, and Lorraine Bracco, and Edie, and. The main cast, we were all very good friends. I mean, we hung out. We enjoyed each other's company. I mean, I was at his 40th birthday. I was at his wedding. I was at his 50th birthday. I saw him. The last time I saw him was a month ago. He was nice enough to do my movie, Nicky Deuce. It's a kid movie. Right. I got one of the greatest actors in the world. I said, "Jim, I got this kid movie." I sent it to him. He said, "It's funny." He was in the middle of a movie in L.A. I said, "All right, well, then don't worry about it." He said, No, let's try to make it work. Long story short, he worked Friday night in Los Angeles until 4 a.m, slept a few hours, got on the plane, came to Montreal, worked all day the next day, then went back to L.A. I mean, it was not about the money. He knew it was important to me.
So he did it.
He was that kind of a guy,
I met him enough times to know. What amazed you was how different he was.
Absolutely.
He was very
didn't even
reserved.
didn't even speak in the same tone.
No, not at all. He had a completely different voice.
I mean, the guy wore Birkenstocks. He loved music. He was a deep thinker. He read a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not a sports guy, because he told me that. He said, "I'm not really a sports guy."
He liked football.
Yeah,
he played football.
He was a basketball player
in high school.
But he said, "I don't follow the stuff." I mean, he wouldn't even come in and do an interview at the height of his thing because he said, "The dog and myself, I don't like to talk about myself." He says, I like the work." He says, "I'm a working actor."
That was the one thing, though, that I told him. I said, Jim, everyone, while the show was going on, I said, everyone thinks you're Tony Soprano. Why don't you pick a show and go and show them Jim Gandolfini? Show them you.
That's a good point.
I said, why don't you pick one? And that way it'll get off your back once and for all that you're not this guy. He's a regular guy. He liked to hang out with regular people. He hung out his friends. He's got 4, 5, 6 close buddies. They're with him everywhere. They've been his childhood friends. That's who his friends are,
Right.
That's, kind of who he hangs out with. Never turned down a charity. Went to Iraq twice.
Just went to Mulcahy's to the... you guys were just there.
Yeah, we were out there in May.
Ago.
In Hurricane Sandy, and he went gladly.
Right.
It wasn't like he was miserable. It was in the middle of the afternoon.
They were all shocked that Jim Gandolfini showed up.
And we had a great time, and he talked to everyone, and it was terrific. He went on stage, and we auctioned things off, and, he gave us the money. Another time I was in Vegas we were promoting a slot machine, and he wasn't that comfortable, like, around a lot of people pouring at him.
Right.
He wasn't always. So I'm good at that, you know.
Right. So he's a little more private. Right?
Yeah. So I'm good at that. But he came, he did it. We cut the ribbon. It was a Spanish slot machine. It was a gig, you know. It was a job. Right. And I was getting paid good money. He was getting paid, and he said, you know, last night you did most of the work. You know, we're having breakfast. He said, you did most of the work. He told the business manager, give him $10,000 of my money. I went, no. I said, I made money. I did great. I said, I'm fine. He said, no, give him $10,000. Like he was buying me a beer. Give him $10,000. I mean, you know, he was that kind of a guy. He didn't say no. He was a family guy. He had a christening for his daughter, you know, a party. He's a new baby.
Right.
Unfortunately, they're not going to.
Oh,
she's not going to know him, you know.
That's terrible.
And
how
he had
old
a
is the
party,
baby?
9 months, 8 months.
Oh.
You know, Liliana. You know, he's got a 13-year-old son.
And I've met his son at the ball game a couple of times.
Yeah.
At the basketball game.
He likes basketball. The kid likes hockey. Michael.
He was a little younger when maybe about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, nice kid. A really nice kid. Jim was a great dad. A great dad. He spent a lot of time. He was on a vacation with his son when this happened. It's so ironic.
Yeah, you never know.
So,
I mean, you just never know. You know?
So crazy, you know. And you know, but he would, you know, take care of people. You ask him. He never turned me down. I didn't ask him for much. He never turned me down for anything. Jim, I'm having this charity event. Could you show up? A half hour, 20 minutes. Just pop in. If he could do it, he would do it.